What makes this art? It's a door. In your mind, your imagination has no limits. We can be a little weird if we want to be weird.
You got two options. Whoa, she almost came for my crotch. Yuvi says no to both of those options. It's a complete mess. The biggest battle will be sort of in my mind and my heart. All right, you ready for the magic to begin? So unfortunately, things are kind of a mess around here. So for people that have been watching our channel for a while, they know that we had a dog kennel underneath our roof here for the longest time. We recently took that down and we put it inside the dome. Our dog Yuvia, she needs a safe place to sleep. That's sort of been a great spot to keep her at night, keep her safe, keep her warm during these cold winter nights. But ever since I took that kennel out of underneath the roof, everything's been kind of in disarray. It's a mess. Now I kind of used that kennel as sort of like a place to kind of put the tools, and I kind of had a nice organization going. Unfortunately, now that that's gone, I need to redo something else, and it's kind of a mess. Jess is working on the door. Meanwhile, I think I'm going to take this opportunity to sort of get this area cleaned up and get it organized. You gonna hang out with Mama while she works? Huh?
I might have mentioned this before, but I was talking about how a front door can kind of be like a first impression for people. Like that's the first thing you see before you enter someone's home.
For sure.
So if you live in the city or suburbs or something where houses are packed like closer together and people might see your front door just passing by and they don't even know you, or guests come over, like that might be more of a thing to kind of express like who you are. But it seems like a lot of people in the city, they might not want to really stand out too much. There might be a few where maybe they paint their front door bright pink or something, but a lot of people, it seems like they just kind of want to blend in. Maybe they don't want people to think they're weird or something.
Well, sometimes you can't. For instance, where we used to live in the city, we had a homeowners association, and there were certain things you could or could not do to or around your home, especially on the outside. And it was such a cookie cutter neighborhood. Like if you didn't know exactly where you were going, you could get lost in a sea of houses that looked almost exactly alike.
Sometimes we actually passed by our house if we weren't paying attention, like because
there's nothing that stands out.
I think there were like specific colors you could use on your house too.
I suppose you got to do a kind of a cleaning before you get to any staining, eh?
Yeah. One thing I'm glad about now, like not being in that type of environment, we can express ourselves a little bit more. We can be a little weird if we want to be weird.
We can live in a dome if we want to live in a dome.
But I mean, in our situation, I don't think we're really necessarily worried about first impressions anyway. Like, we don't have neighbors that are close by, but I mean, you can just look at the rest of the house and it's already kind of weird. And this door isn't really pointed towards like any road. People aren't going to see that. We don't get a lot of visitors either. I think I painted this door really more for me.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's what you got to do. Like anything we out here, it's got to make you or me happy. We got to be, obviously we're the ones living in it and we got to look at things. Chris said he wanted to help. All right, while Jess has been working on the door, I've been working on trying to clean up and organize my work area. Now, I have a really great idea on how to get all these like shovels and stuff like that organized and just keep them from laying on the ground like they are. It's a complete mess. I thought it would be great if I could have like a little pallet rack. So here's the start of it right now. I know it doesn't look like much, But I swear it's going to turn into something. I found a really nice pallet that's just been kind of sitting around this area. Perfect. It'll help kind of clean up the area, and it'll be a great addition to the rack. So I got this other pallet attached last night, and I just used some scrap pallet wood that was lying around, and I used that to kind of hook up the two pallets together. Now I just got this small little space right here, which I'm not going to go grab another pallet just to throw in there. I'm just going to take some, again, just some more scraps of pallet wood, and just get like a few pieces on each side. You sitting in your hole? Look at all these holes she makes. She's turning this ground here into Swiss cheese. She's making her own rainwater infiltration basins. And she likes to put her butt in there. You sitting in your hole? You sitting in your hole? You got to protect that box.
I know what you do.
Oh yeah, she wants all of that.
I know what you do. I have it.
Oh, you can't. Okay, you got two options. You can either put the paints inside the door where she can't reach them, or I gotta hook her up. Oh, whoa, she almost came for my crotch.
Doesn't like those options.
She don't like those options. Yuvi says no to both of those options. She's like, how about option 3? You give me pets. Is that a UV-free zone? I don't think with her roaming around, I don't think you're going to be able to get any work done. I better hook her up. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
I will take this. Can I have some of your fur? No. No, you can't have it.
That's the trade-off. She gives you the paw, you got to give her the cup. All right, so I'm going to start racking up some of these tools and just see how it looks, see how it feels, and see if I need to make any adjustments. Crew said he wanted to come see what you're doing. What now, buddy? Hey, girl. Is that secure or you need me to hold it?
Feels pretty secure. I didn't really go into it with a specific idea in mind of like what I wanted it to look like. I didn't do like a lot of planning for this.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Coming from her.
I too tend to do like a lot of planning. But I guess this one I was going a little bit more by feel. I got some ideas together, I got some paints together, different colors I wanted to use, and then I just kind of went into it and I kind of changed my ideas as I went along.
You just got to check up on you from time to time. Got to check up on Mama? Huh? Make sure she hasn't gone away. Oh, he's going to want to stay over here. Excuse me, sir. I did a lot of work piling all that up. Excuse me, sir. I have to ask you not to do that. Oh, he did. It's getting comfy. Is that comfy? I don't look comfortable.
Still looks kind of lumpy.
Yeah, it looks lumpy. I don't think he's gonna stay there long. That does not look comfortable, but we'll see.
I think there's always a little bit of a disconnect between what's in my head and how it turns out. You know, because like in your mind, your imagination has no limits. So it could be like this fantastical, you know, idea of how it's going to be, but in reality, you're still limited by materials and different things. So, but there's like a creativity that goes into that, like working with the materials, working with what you have.
Sometimes the limitations actually can be a creative thing that's in itself.
Yeah, and I enjoy that part of it too.
You bothering Mama? Jeez, you got crew over here, now you got UV. Oh. Hey! Was there just water in there? Oh, UV, that's no good. Leave Mama alone. Come by Daddy. You like Daddy better anyway. You like Daddy better anyway. Almost done. What is that? One more square left? This gonna be it for today?
Probably.
Probably want to give this time to dry and everything like that. It's a beautiful work of art. Of course, it's nowhere near done yet. Well, this is a really good start to organizing the area. I do want to get some plywood or maybe some OSB on the back of these pallets, and then I got further organizing ideas that I'm about to roll with. So I'm excited to get those attached. You inspecting Daddy's work? Huh? Alright, y'all, so I've been out here early. Clearly, it's still a mess out here, but I have been making a lot of progress. Although it still looks like a mess, it's getting there. It's getting to a much more organized state. Alright, you ready for the magic to begin? Okay, I already know what you're doing with this. You're almost done, right? This is gonna be like a cow pattern?
It's not a cow pattern. It's not a Dalmatian pattern.
Okay, we'll wait to see what the transformation. This is your first time making it out here today? Do they have water? What's going on?
They're always like this.
I guess it's a real valuable item you have in your hand there.
Gold. Cost of eggs is crazy right now.
So this is your Jackson Pollock.
Did Jackson Pollock use sponges?
I don't think he did. It's the Jess Pollock. This is your own version of action painting. Wow. Is this going to look very feminine when it's done?
It may.
Can we add some manly things to it? I don't know if I can utilize this door for my home.
Paint some penises on it.
I don't think that I don't think that would I would think that would add to the feminization, but Punky Brewster. Does this look like some Punky Brewster art?
Does it?
I don't know. Is that what you're going for?
No.
I really feel like this pile of mud we built here could use a splash of color.
Yeah.
And maybe by the time we're actually finished with it, it'll have even more color to it once it's done.
I think it will.
And it won't be just like this brown splotch.
Yeah.
Not
Maybe-
that the color of Earth is bad, but it's just that there's a lot of it around.
Yeah, it tends to kind of blend in a little too much maybe, but I don't know if I want the whole house looking quite as bright as the door,
Oh, right.
but
Just little splashes of color here and there.
yeah.
He's so curious about what you're doing over here. I think he just wants to be in front of the camera. Oh, he's a mama's boy. He wants to be by mama. I think we got a mama's boy and a daddy's girl. What do you think?
I think one thing about art, one thing that's really important, for anyone who is not really into visual art, if you go to galleries or art museums and you don't really quite get like what's going on, like you might see an abstract painting and you're like, what is that? Like, why is this here? Why is it art? That's something that I was kind of thinking about with this door too. What makes this art? It's a door. I was thinking about some of the famous artists and works that they've done. I mean, you have art that's representational, that can look pretty realistic, like a Caravaggio still life or a Rembrandt portrait, where it really captures like the light that's hitting an object or a face, and it looks real, it feels real. But then you have abstract artists like Picasso. A Picasso painting is very different than a Rembrandt, where it's abstracted. You can tell it's a face, but it's like weird colors. It might be like purple and green. The eyes are pointing forward, but the nose is like sideways, and it just looks kind of weird. And then there's art that's not representational at all, like maybe Mondrian, where it's just like lines and squares of different colors, or a Pollock, where it's like splashes of paint, or even like Rothko, where it's just like patches of color. And you might look at something like that and it's like, well, like I could do that. I could just like take a color and like splash it on some canvas. Like, why is that art? And I think the thing that ties all those paintings together is it makes you feel something. I think that's really what art is about. Like, the artists themselves might be trying to express something, but also like if you're just a viewer just looking at the art, it makes you feel something. So, the next time you're in a gallery or a museum and you're looking at art, like a good way to appreciate that art is just don't worry about like what does it mean or try to figure out what it is, but what kind of feelings are you feeling? How does that make you feel what emotions grab you when you look at that?
Yeah, I didn't know you'd be getting an art history lesson today. But yeah, a very good point. Crew clearly wants to go inside the dome, but he can't. Look at it. It's like, maybe if I get my face closer, the door will open. You can't go in there, buddy. Mama's working. It's going to bother him that he's not doing his daily check. Sorry, buddy. That's too funny. You can't go in there. It's coming along nicely. I hate to break it.
Here you go.
He said he's going to help you out. He's going to pick the next color.
Oh. I should have him paint the door.
Even as a kid, I always had this tendency to take the things out I wanted to play with and just leave them right where they are as soon as I'm done. And I know I still have those tendencies even today. You know, I'm taking out a tool, and when I'm done with it, I just leave it down on the nearest surface. And you can tell from these latest projects, the solar rack, the door, things just got out of hand because I'm taking in some of these materials. I have no idea where they go, and some of these tools, I'm just kind of like leaving them on a table or something like that, and they just pile up and it creates a mess. Some of this is due to the lifestyle that we live. I can use this as an excuse, but it really shouldn't be. But I mean, you know, we don't have really good locations for everything. So, you know, I have this outside work area and it's constantly shifting and changing, and there's definitely not places for everything. But that's what I got to change. I got to make sure there are places for these things, that when I'm done with them, they have a place to go, and that when I'm done with them, I put them back in that place. So that's where I want to get to eventually. As you can see, there's still more I got to do here. I want to get this place tip-top shape. Now, I might not be ready as far as the organization goes, but at least if I can get this clean and ready to go, then that's one step closer. And I do have plans for a much better organization system, maybe shortly down the road. But while Jess is working on the door, I can't go in and out of there working on those inside walls right now. So while she's working on that, I'm just going to keep knocking this out. Then hopefully by the time she's done with that door, I'll be done with what I need to do out here, and then I can start working on that inside. But I mean, this needs to get done ASAP as well, because how much more productive could I be if I didn't have to waste that time looking for tools or the right supplies I need? You know, if everything is organized, that can just save me a lot more time, a lot more energy, and just make me a lot more productive out here. And ultimately, with my goal of just improving myself all the time efficiency could be that much more important, and I could get a lot more done out here.
I know you mentioned like has a psychedelic kind of feel to it. I wasn't necessarily going for that, but I think the feeling that I wanted from this was I wanted a certain like energy. I wanted something that I could look at and it made me feel good. I guess kind of a spiritual kind of energy to it. Something a little fun, not too bright and like in your face with like super bright, bold colors, but still kind of, you know, happy and a little bright.
I think people have been asking if you're going to do any of your glass etching work on the windows here.
I don't really want to do that. I can always do that later if I decide.
It's not happening now.
Yeah, for right now, like, I think the painting is enough.
Yeah, I mean, you could be watching one of our videos and like it's about what we're doing, but it's also about the way you feel when you watch us. It's those type of connections that really help bind people together and give meaning to things.
Yeah, how do you create art in your own life? Maybe it's not with paint. Maybe you're not even like painting a door. Maybe it's the way you decorate your home, or just however you express yourself. And how does like looking at those things, how does that make you feel in your daily life?
Maybe you like to cook. Maybe you're a mechanic. Mm-hmm. There's lots of different ways and different things in which you express yourself.
I think it's good to just kind of get in touch with your feelings. Just
Uh-oh, now we're getting all soft and getting in touch with our feelings.
but really, like, it helps you move through life more easily in some ways.
Absolutely, absolutely. 1, 2, 3. Are you lifting it?
She's rearranging things too.
I think you're right. I think this kind of opens up a lot more space here for walking. Those cabinets are going to move eventually, but I need to get the electric tools. I stuffed the electric tools in there. See?
All the Ryobis.
And
All the Milwaukee.
it's a hard-working dog.
Yeah.
Now, if I can only just have her dig in the spaces I need her to dig. Watch out, the inspector's coming. He had to inspect my work, now he's inspecting your work. Oh my goodness. Oh, now he wants to go in. Okay, this is where the door opens. I don't think he's found a comfortable spot here yet. He can lay down for a little bit, but... Well, I'll tell you, I've been getting in touch with my feelings with the new cleaned up work area. I know you've talked a bit before about just how you're a very sensitive person. So clutter, things lying around, it makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you very anxious.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not as sensitive, I'm not feeling those feelings quite as intensely as you are, I am feeling those things, and it does sort of like cloud the thinking. It makes you a little bit more anxious, and like I was saying before, it just takes a little bit more time if you're looking for things and you can't find things, and that's just the disorganization. It just starts cascading. I got some ideas on how to make this even a more functional and more organized space, so I'm going to keep working on that little by little. Part of the battle was just cleaning. The biggest battle will be sort of in my mind and my heart, just to keep it that way from now on. So I got to hold myself accountable to that. Oh, what a magnificent job you did. It looks so beautiful.
Thank you.
Not nearly as beautiful as the creator herself, but it looks pretty amazing.
Wow. Really buttering me up.
Always got to put a couple of tokens in the the brown nose bank. You never know when I might need a withdrawal later. Hey, cleaning up and stuff like that, organizing, those are all little things. So
Yeah.
she loves that kind of stuff. I'm excited that the door is installed and painted and ready to go. I'm excited about my new work area, and I know for me, the next thing I'll be doing is working on the inside. I know a lot of people have been impatient about the walls. When are you gonna cover the walls? I think that's gonna be the next thing I'm working on.
I think there's a few more details around here we have to take care of.
Small things that we gotta do around the door yet.
Gaps to fill in. And
I know some people were talking about the installation of the door, the fact that it opens outward, the fact that the hinges are, you know, flipped around like that. This is all by design. We need it to do like that. I know it's not the most secure thing. I know generally you wouldn't want, you know, glass on your front door where people can just smash in and stuff like that. And yeah, I know people can pop out the hinges and stuff like that. But this is not the full scope of the house. This isn't the complete house. There'll be other things going on here. So
you'll see.
Be patient. It's coming.
I don't know if I'll be working on the final details of by the door at all. But after that, back to the top of the dome.
So we're on the outside, I'm on the inside, and I'm really excited about how this is going to turn out. So don't forget to give this a thumbs up. We'll catch you in the next video, y'all. Bye.